Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
With quite a few new developments in the fight against the coronavirus here at home and around the world. As the case count goes up, the area's largest hospital system announces major layoffs. While we're also learning lawmakers have now struck a deal to try to help save small businesses on the brink. Glad you're with us for Local 4 News at 5. Let's start with some hopeful news. To date, 3,237 Michiganders have recovered from coronavirus. Kim?
That is good news, and we want to get you up to date on the big headlines also concerning the coronavirus. First, the case count. To date, there are 32,967 cases of COVID-19 in Michigan, and with that number, there have been 2,700 deaths.
Also, a short time ago, it was announced a deal has been reached to add nearly $500 billion in funding to the Paycheck Protection Program aimed at giving relief to small businesses and also to hospitals.
Meanwhile, back here at home, Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan announced help has arrived to tackle the growing and deadly crisis happening right now inside Detroit nursing homes. Take a listen.
I am really pleased that Dr. Robert Redfield, the head of the Center for Disease Control, has just sent us today 4 staff from the CDC to join Denise Fair's health department in this nursing home initiative. I've talked to Dr. Redfield twice in the last week. He has been absolutely supportive of the city of Detroit. And we're showing now 124 deaths at nursing homes. I'm sure that number is dramatically understated when the data starts to catch up.
Also topping our news, their ERs and their ICUs have been crowded. With so many COVID patients, it doesn't mean hospitals aren't struggling financially.
That's right, Devin. Beaumont Hospital announced today they'll be laying off thousands of people. Local 4 business editor Rod Maloney is live with who will be losing jobs, at least for now, Rod.
Well, Kimberly, a lot of it's going to be clerical staff, and that's sort of by design here. They don't want the frontline people off the job. But knowing what we know about the way this has all gone, about hospitals being all but overrun by COVID-19 patients, it seems kind of strange that they would be short of cash, and yet that is the situation because they've stopped doing other procedures and elective surgeries that really pay the bills. Beaumont hospitals continue caring for most of the region's COVID-19 patients. They've cleared out ERs and other procedure suites, converting them to ventilator treatment rooms for the sickest patients. And at the same time, the hospital stopped doing most other procedures. CEO John Fox laid it out in a morning press conference.
We had 2 weeks of COVID-19, and we lost $75 million on our operations. You might as well consider that cash. And in April, it will be worse.
So here are the numbers. Nearly 3,000 employees laid off, 450 permanently. Fox himself will take a 75% cut to his near $2 million a year salary. Other executives will take 45% pay cuts.
We basically went through the organization and said, we're going to be under this cloud for at least 2 years, probably longer, and we are financially hemorrhaging. And we went through and we looked, and it was very difficult.
They did lump sum separations, and those laid off can keep their health care. Fox says that's the only upside to any of this.
This is overwhelmingly a temporary layoff. As soon as the patients come back and we can build back those volumes, we'll want to bring the people back.
They also want to bring back a lot of the laid off employees who will be there permanently because they're making it so that they get to the front of the line for other jobs that become available within the system. Reporting live in Royal Oak, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
That is massive. All right, Rod. Antibody tests are the other half of the testing debate. Companies hope to use them to see which employees might have immunity and thus could return to certain jobs.
That's right. And likewise, many people are wondering if they may have already been exposed to coronavirus and recovered. But there's a big potential problem with many of the tests. Dr. Frank McGeorge is here to explain.
Well, you know, Devin and Kimberly, after facing intense criticism for being too slow to approve tests to diagnose active cases of COVID-19, the FDA has swung dramatically in the opposite direction when it comes to these antibody tests. The agency is essentially allowing most of them to be sold without any sort of federal approval, raising serious concerns about accuracy. It sounds so simple, just a finger prick, and in minutes you can know if you have some possible immunity to the coronavirus. But it's not that simple. So far, the FDA has granted emergency use authorizations to 4 antibody tests. Those include the tests from Cellex, Ortho Clinical Diagnostics, and ChemBio Diagnostics, plus the test developed by New York City's Mount Sinai Health System. But here's where things get confusing. The FDA has also allowed about 90 companies to sell antibody tests without authorization or review. The companies are supposed to self-validate their tests, essentially make sure it's accurate themselves. That has led to growing concerns about the quality of many antibody tests.
My scientific team, they basically said it's a bunch of garbage.
Sean Dabibian's diagnostic lab says it acquired rapid test kits that do not have FDA authorization from 5 manufacturers. 70% of those tests gave inconsistent results when his team tried to validate them. His opinion?
These rapid test kits are dangerous. They're giving false positives or false negatives. It might give people a false sense of security that they somehow have immunity.
A Texas health department had similar results. They found one brand of rapid test kits to be just 20% reliable. The company had claimed they were up to 97% accurate. Yeah, so the FDA is working with the CDC now to help validate some of these blood tests and help fine-tune them to improve the accuracy. Unfortunately, honestly, the horse is already out of the barn with regards to many of these tests, so it's definitely buyer beware and do your homework first.
Well, these antibody tests, Doc, are central to many of the plans to reopen the economy, I'm hearing, and to get life back to something that's more normal. How is that going to work now?
Yeah, that's a very fair question. It's frankly going to make things much more difficult. If the test is not reliable, you will be giving people a false sense of security, not to mention the fact that we don't even know for sure yet the degree to which people with antibodies will have immunity or even how long any immunity will last. So there's a lot left to be discovered, and these antibody tests are just adding to the confusion right now.
Indeed. Okay, Doc, thanks.
With word today of a tentative deal in the Senate to send more emergency money to small businesses across the country, President Trump is meeting with the governor of New York over the need for more testing. Alice Barr is in Washington with the latest. Alice.
Devin, word of that agreement on an interim funding package means small business owners are one step closer to critically needed money to stay afloat and keep their workers on the payroll. In the continuing push and pull over emergency aid to fight the coronavirus crisis, congressional leaders and the White House have reached a deal to add more than $300 billion to the Small Business Paycheck Protection Program that ran out of money within minutes of taking applications. At the same time, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo visiting the White House, an ambassador for states, pleading for federal help with testing and supplies.
You need to understand quickly who's in a better position to do what. From my point of view, I think the federal government has to take that national manufacturer supply chain issue.
President Trump insisting states have to run their own testing, even as his administration laid out efforts to ramp up production of testing swabs and boost capacity at state labs. Governors are racing to increase testing before they start opening their economies, though 3 southern states are taking steps to reopen some businesses as early as today in South Carolina. In Georgia, several mayors urging residents to ignore the loosening restrictions and keep staying home, while these Tennessee boutique owners are eager to open their doors.
Bring it on. We're ready.
And as nurses protest outside the White House over the Trump administration's coronavirus response and the lack of protective equipment, President Trump turning his attention to banning immigration, announcing in a late-night tweet he would be signing an executive order to temporarily suspend immigration into the U.S. to protect American lives and jobs. Mixed signals today on when he might sign that order and how many countries could be affected. It's unclear what practical effect an immigration ban would have at this point, since the system is already essentially shut down. U.S. borders are closed and international air travel is largely halted. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
All right, Alice, meantime, stocks closed in the red for the second straight day. The Dow, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ all posted their worst days since April 1st. Now, stimulus checks are popping up in many people's bank accounts, but the Help Me Hank team is hearing from a lot of people wanting to know where their money is.
Yeah, today the IRS and the city of Detroit want to make sure you know what to do to get the money you deserve. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester is live tonight. Hank, checks, I guess, are arriving daily now.
Yeah, Kimberly, Devin, they certainly are, and have been flooded with emails from people who say, listen, my neighbor got the check, my cousin got the check, but I'm still waiting for the money. So we contacted the IRS. We got critical information for you, and also from the city of Detroit, because even if you don't have a bank account, you can still get that money. Stimulus checks started rolling out last week, but right now they're only hitting those who have direct deposit. And some of you are asking, where's my money?
Just be patient. The money is coming out. I know there was some of the money right now is just being direct deposited. The first wave came out last week and will continue to come out. And for those people who will be receiving a check, those will be coming out in the future.
If your banking information has changed since last year when you filed taxes, you must go online. Go to the IRS website. There you can update all your information.
The IRS is going off of your previous tax return filings as far as bank account information and addresses. So if that's changed, go to irs.gov and update that information.
And the city of Detroit today putting out the message that everyone will be taken care of. Even if you don't have a bank account, you'll still be able to get your money.
If you take that paper check to any JP Morgan Chase branch and you take 2 pieces of identification, they're going to cash that check for you without any fees. You got to have your ID when you take the check in, but they will cash your stimulus check for you for free.
Back here live, and if you decide you'd like to open a bank account, the city has also worked to establish relationships with several banks across the city to help make that process as easy as possible for you. Of course, as all this money is going out to millions of Americans and many here in Metro Detroit, there's also the threat of scams. That's why tonight at 6 o'clock we are talking with the IRS about the scams they are seeing right here in Metro Detroit. We're live here tonight. Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank.
Hey, Hank, we'll see you again at 6. We are just getting started here at 5. Let's check in with Ben. We keep seeing snow. Make it stop.
You know, Kim and Devin, it is starting to come to an end, but don't let that sunshine that's breaking out fool you. We've got temperatures near record low cold tonight. We'll look at that and when we finally recover next.
A national organization is getting into the fight against the coronavirus. I'm Larry Spruill, and I'll tell you how that benefits Michigan.
She had a run-in with the coronavirus, but she made it. Coming right up, I'm speaking to yet another COVID-19 survivor.